Thocks possible. Thocks.
Most thockiest game make the keyboard thocky.
The quality of these, but you know, SA equals.
How to Thock.
Sound of quack, while others like myself prefer the low-pitched, deep sound of Thock.
Keyboard. And man, does it Thock.
Thock, thock, thock.
Thock.
Thock, thock, thock.
What is Thock? Thock is a term that is generally used by a majority of the people who are into the hobby of building custom mechanical keyboards, and is used to describe the sound that a keyboard makes when you type on it. You would think that the community would have an agreed upon definition for this word, and the answer to that is no, they do not. The people in the community, like usual, had to make this complicated, and to find out this definition, I decided to go on a journey through the internet, scouring the dictionaries, looking through forums, and even interviewing other keyboard content creators. Maybe after all that, we'll find the definition of Thock. Also, make sure to subscribe. First, I decided to look at one of the most trusted sources known to man, Urban Dictionary. As described by the Urban Dictionary, Thock is a term used to describe Thanos' huge, purple, veiny, wrong definition. Thock is described by Mark Lamau as that deep sound on a custom mechanical keyboard that no one can really describe. This is somewhat helpful, but it's really not enough. I don't know if I really trust Urban Dictionary, which really contradicts my statement earlier. But I think Mark is really onto something, because he says no one can really describe it, and it shows that even Mark, someone who made the definition on Urban Dictionary, is even confused. Silly Mark. Maybe I should look somewhere else, mostly because most of these definitions just seem to be about dick. So I found this forum called Keep Talk, and it seems to have a lot of useful information on keyboards. So surely the definition for Thock has to be here. There has to be an agreed definition. And it seems like Das Gnome has something. At some point, Thock and Clack turned into snake oil instead of straightforward onomatopoeias. It seems like for newcomers that it doesn't register that these are categorical shorthand for an entire range of sounds. People may as well ask, how do I get a keyboard that goes pow and splat? I think a large part of the issue is that creators are in on the joke, but reinforce the cycle by making content about it. Same as the MX Brown's memes. We have this dichotomy where veterans are laughing while newcomers take it as fact, but get engagement and view metrics up. Honestly, I personally agree with this statement. Generally, with the whole new generation of enthusiasts that have been coming into the hobby, a word that used to mean one specific thing has now taken on many different definitions, which is usually the case when younger people start invading any kind of community that has a specific interest with their own terms. Desnome also mentions content creators and how we have played kind of a part into this confusion. And again, I have to agree. Creators like Hippiotech and others have used the term Thock in their titles, even though the board itself might not even be Thocky. Of course, I've done this as well, because really, it's a no-brainer. You have to put Thock in your title to actually get views on this platform anymore, and it's kind of stupid. On the same forum post, I like to mention that this guy, Pixel Pusher, responds, and I think it's just kind of funny and it should be mentioned. And then realize that we still have no better idea, right? It's like the wise man who knows himself to be a fool. I've spent years messing with keyboards and switches and mods. I'm still dumbfounded when I realize that I don't mind typing on a $20 keyboard. What I take away from it is that I truly enjoy being surrounded by switches and plates and kits and soldering equipment. I like to mess around with builds constantly. Maybe that makes me a hoarder. I'm okay with that. That was a really nerdy response. I don't think anyone usually responds like that on forums, but maybe it's just a keyboard hobby thing. Generally, this information on this forum was pretty useful, but I still don't think it's enough. It's not enough. And I would think the next logical step would be to go to the content creators themselves, because I feel like they would have the most knowledge on the topic. And I have a few friends, including my close friend Coley.mp4 and Fredasaurus, and a new friend I actually made through the hobby, Anzel. So here are the interviews I did with them and the questions that I asked, and they honestly gave very nice responses. So here you go. All right, so first question, Coley. What do you think the definition of Thock is?
Thock is a keyboard sound that has a deeper pitch.
Deeper pitch.
Yes.
So when it comes to the word thock, how do you think newcomers are taking it? Because I've seen multiple different definitions. What's your take on that?
I think newcomers think that Thock is good, like inherently a good thing, and that clack is inherently a bad thing because so many people put out videos like where the goal is to make the thockiest board and it gets the most views and clicks and stuff like that. So I think people are confusing Thock with like best, like making the best board.
Yeah. Next question. Do you think, like you just explained that people are confusing it with best. Do you think content creators have a huge part in that whole confusion with newcomers? Because obviously veterans know what the word means, but do you think the YouTube algorithm and content creators as a whole have something to do with this confusion?
I think, yeah, because I think content creators are the ones that helped like popularize the word. And I think because when they realize that putting like Thock in the title, and I tried it on one of my more recent videos. I put Thock in the title and it did way better than all of my other videos. Hey, you know what they say? These content creators are gonna stop beating this dead horse when it stops spitting out money, if you know what I mean.
Or stop hitting the pinata when it stops dropping candy.
Exactly. So if you want people to stop using Thock in their title, stop watching Thock videos.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for your answers. That was a 11-minute interview.
Okay.
All right. So, what do you think Thock is, Fred?
I mean, I guess to describe a sound, but like mainly deep sounds is what like comes to my mind. So I feel like a lot of people think of it in different ways, obviously, like just good sounds, which makes kind of a pointless word. But yeah, just mainly just deep sounds. A deep, low-pitched sound on a keyboard is what I think comes to my mind.
Yeah. So when you said something like you said good sounds, usually the word Thock is used as like an onomatopoeia where it's like used to describe a sound. However, good sounds is not really onomatopoeia. How do you think about the fact that maybe content creators, other veterans in the community have really contributed to the confusion of the meaning of the word?
Mainly just by, I mean, obviously we got some people that just Thock in title and then get a bunch of views or on the thumbnail or whatever. I think the main confusion is where they put Thock on like every single board. Sound when it's high pitched, low pitched, whatever, and then that makes people just kind of either think of it wrong or get confused, not knowing what exactly the sound is, or just making it think, like I said, some people might just think, oh, Thock is just good sound, but that's kind of pointless because good sound is very subjective, and no one's gonna know what that means. So,
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm guilty of this, but it's kind of.
Yeah, I feel like we all are.
Yeah, like unless you put Thock in the title of a keyboard build, are you really doing a keyboard build in 2022? Not really. I don't think anyone's gonna see it. That's the thing.
Yeah. At least I try to keep when I use Thock, I used to try to keep it for when a keyboard actually sounds deep. Like my VAS 60 R1, when I modded it, it sounded deep sounding. So at least there's that.
Yeah. At least there's that. So that's the last question I had for you. Do you want to plug your YouTube channel real quick?
Sure. I mean, channel's Fredasaurus on YouTube. I guess I do keyboard content like you probably expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
you reviewed the
Thank
Windex.
you for this. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So if you want to watch keyboard builds and Switch reviews and everything like that, watch Fred.
Sure.
All right. There we go.
Yeah.
Stop recording. All right. So what do you think the definition of Thock is?
It's a very good question because I feel like it no longer has one. I think originally the original meaning was like deep and muted, right?
Yeah.
So think either silent switches or think Topra. That in my definition is what Thock should be, but I think now along with the word clack, it's just become the synonymous with deep and no. Thock would be like deep and then clack would be synonymous with high pitched.
Yeah.
And that works, but I think the issue is like they're still very vague, and I still think they're not even used that way, even if we simplify it to that. I think we should be using different words when describing keyboards. I get that Thock and clack are a great starting point for beginners and the launching pad for beginning to describe keyboard sound, but deeper than that, I think there should be other descriptors because keyboards and switches are much deeper than just deep pitched and high pitched. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's like a whole range of them. This is what Nicole was telling me about. There's just a lot of stuff in between, and we shouldn't just have 2 words. There should be multiple.
Yeah, and then Theremin Goat has a fantastic article on this. But basically, and this I wholeheartedly agree, is that once you get past the whole Thock and clack thing, you got to jump into one, you got to find a descriptor for pitch, right? That's where you get high pitched and low pitched, and then you get the impact. You know, is it like sharp? Is it dull? Is it muted?
Is it poppy?
Is it full? Yeah, is it poppy? That's also a great one. And then, God, what else is there? I mean, I just think that there needs to be more words for it. Because in Thock and clack, it's just too vague. It's too nebulous, and I think it's just gonna get used wrong. You know, some people would use the word Thock for something they like, not even like deep. Literally, oh, I like it, so it's thocky, you know. But yeah, if we just go into using different words other than Thock and clack, which Thock and clack are okay, but I do think using more words is gonna be a little more helpful to beginners and a little more understanding to veterans alike. In my opinion.
So going based off that answer, do you think the vagueness of, you know, the definitions and, you know, people not really knowing the definition anymore, do you think that has to do with content creators, especially, you know, ones like I've used the word Thock in titles. I mean, everyone has it. I don't know if you have at all. I mean, it's generally a popular term. And do you think content creators have had kind of a hand in basically getting rid of the definition for that word?
I think it's their fault.
Yeah.
I'm included in this because I like the clickbait. I need views. I need to get my bag, right?
Yeah.
It all started, I believe it started with Teja, right?
Yeah.
Back, I don't know how long ago, but The Verge made a video about Teja and mechanical keyboards, and he said, "Oh, the thing that content creators, or not content, sorry, I'm mixing my words here. The thing that a lot of enthusiasts are looking for and that they search for is Thock." That's what he said, and I think everyone ran with that, and immediately everyone's like, "Oh, this is Thocky because this is what I want. Oh, this is Thocky because I think that's what Thock is." So it's just been diluted, and people have been using it for clickbait as well. And then obviously everyone's definitions are different. So I would like to place the blame on content creators, but at the same time, when you have a lot of newcomers to the hobby, it's just what's going to happen. Things are going to get muddled. People don't know things. I think it's just normal. It's not a big deal, but yeah, I would put content creators pretty high up there, honestly.
Well, thank you for your time. If you want to plug your channel right now would be the perfect time.
Heck yeah. Okay, so I'm Anzel. I'm on YouTube. Literally just search up Anzel. I would appreciate that. I'm also on TikTok, where I have a bigger following for no good reason. I only do post on there, but that is Zel_RC, ZEL_RC. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. All right. So what can we conclude from all this information that we've got? From Urban Dictionary, we got very descriptive information about dicks and what the sound of Thock could possibly be. From Keep Talk, we gathered that Thock is a very, very, very warped definition, and it's mostly because of content creators, especially myself and even some of the YouTubers that I've interviewed in this video. And from those interviews, I actually gathered some really good information because Anzel specifically has been into keyboards for a very long time before I would say keyboards really became popularized. So what can you take away from this? The word Thock means deep sounding. It's not a term for good sounding, it's a term for an actual sound. Just like clack, poppy, all those sounds are specific to an actual sound. And anyways, besides that, make sure to check out all the YouTubers that I interviewed in this video because they took time out of their days to actually be interviewed by me. So it would mean a lot to me and them if you subscribe to their channels. And while you're at it, if you're not subscribed, what the fuck are you doing? Like, subscribe. I'm gonna keep on making content like this. Like, it's free. Hello? You can always unsubscribe later as well. I wouldn't really mind. Also, comment hashtag Thock=deep in the comment section if you've actually made it this far. And make sure to check out all my links in the description, including my affiliates, my Discord link, and my Reddit link. And that's all I have for you guys. Bye!